The good old US dollar, the king of the global financial world. Do you all remember the good times? When we had wealth and control over our own finances because the US dollar was leading the way? Yeah, that we are about to say these lines is not as far-fetched anymore, because a new currency is coming to town, and it's not here to play nice. At least not for the US and their alliances. So let's not get too comfortable, people, because I'm about to give you a glimpse into a very realistic potential future where a new coin developed by the BRICS countries takes over the US dollar as the global currency. And let me tell you, it's not just a matter of a few coins flipping. First, let's dive into the technical aspects of it. The BRICS countries have been discussing the creation of a new currency to rival the US dollar for years now. The proposed currency would be based on a basket of currencies from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And its #1 goal is to create a stable and independent currency that can compete with the US dollar on the global stage. Okay, it will not happen overnight, but given the recent developments in the world, like the war in Ukraine, the fact that United Arab Emirates is open to non-US dollar oil trades, and that China brokered a truce between Saudi Arabia and Iran, it is not at all as unlikely anymore that such a new BRICS currency can succeed in becoming the new global currency. And if it does, it would represent a paradigm shift in the global economy. Currently, the US dollar is used for trading in commodities like oil and gold, as well as financing international trade. It's estimated that over 60% of all foreign exchange reserves are held in US dollars. But if the BRICS currency takes over, it would mean that countries would have to switch to using this new currency for those same transactions. And that, my friends, would be a game changer. So what would this mean for the US? Well, it will no longer be the leader of the pack. It will lose the world's dominant economic power. The US dollar has been the global reserve currency since the end of World War II, and it has allowed the US to exert significant influence over other countries. Like it can use the US dollar as a tool to implement economic sanctions, control inflation, and influence other countries' monetary policies. However, if the BRICS currency takes over, the US would become just another player in the global economy. Basically, this means less power, less influence, and less ability to make decisions that affect the entire world. And internally, the US would face a significant blow to its economy, as the BRICS currency would undoubtedly impact the value of the US dollar, leading to inflation and financial instability. Can you imagine? Hold on to your cup of coffee for now, because the impact of a new BRICS currency rise to global dominance would also heavily affect Europe. The euro is currently the second most used currency in the world, and if a new currency were to take over, it would mean that they'd have to decide whether to stick with the euro or switch over to this new currency. For Europe, this will be like choosing between a rock and a hard place, because whatever the outcome, it will have significant consequences for their economy. Let's not forget, and Europe will never say this out loud, of course, but ever since the UK's exit from the European Union, the euro's position as a global currency has already weakened substantially. Amongst others, because the UK was Europa's major financial center, with the City of London as one of the largest financial hubs in the world. With Britain's exit, the European Union has lost crucial access to this key financial center. And what about developing countries? Well, to put it bluntly, they would be up S***T creek. In other words, they will end up in an extremely bad situation. Many developing countries rely on the US dollar for international trade and investment, and if a new currency takes over, they'd be left holding a bag of worthless dollars. And without a doubt, this would lead to economic collapse, inflation, and social unrest. They'd have to switch over to the new currency, but that would require a significant amount of investment in infrastructure and education. And even then, it might not be enough to catch up to the developed world. Now that you are fully aware of the potential effects of the alleged upcoming BRICS introduction, Russia has made an announcement expressing their desire to expand their exclusive economic club. They have stated their openness to welcoming Saudi Arabia, Argentina, and the United Arab Emirates into the fold. I mean, why not throw in some more countries? The more, the merrier, right? Who cares if they have completely different political ideologies, human rights records, and economic systems? It's all about making a statement against the Western world. The Kremlin assures us that the expansion will lead to further development and strengthening of the organization. And hold your horses, folks. Brace yourselves for the big news. BRICS is going to be gold-backed. Just like in the good old days of Bretton Woods in 1944, when everything was peachy and gold was the kingpin. Because obviously, linking currency to shiny metal has always led to decades of peace, prosperity, and fixed exchange rates. Well, until it didn't, and the US dollar floated away from its golden anchor like a rebellious teenager breaking free from parental control in 1971. What brings this diverse group together? Well, aside from the fact that they're all transitioning from middle-income countries to prosperous ones, it's mainly their shared frustration over the high hurdles set by the Western World Bank to get some sustainable help. The IMF, the World Bank's trusty sister organization, loves to play lone Santa for countries in need, but it's not all sugar and spice. Their loans come with a side of tough love, demanding that the state's power decreases, and businesses get a free pass to roam wild and free. And guess what? The World Bank follows suit with their own set of demands for developing nations. As if that's not enough, these countries who dare to borrow find themselves cutting corners elsewhere, sending their economies and people into a tailspin. Implementing less government and more market might sound like a great plan in the long run, but in the short term, it's a recipe for disaster, folks. But fear not. Have you already heard about the heartbreaking story of countries like Argentina, who cozied up to the IMF, only to be slapped with restrictive conditions, leaving citizens drowning in a sea of hardships? So the BRICS countries are hoping to break free from this unstable spiral and form a stronger, less Western-focused trading and power alliance. President Lula of Brazil is waving the BRICS flag high, championing this alternative gang of global players. Because hey, joining the BRICS gang might mean tighter bonds with the likes of China. Who needs the Western World Bank when you have a new crew in town? So who's to gain from a new global currency? All the BRICS countries, of course, but in particular, China would benefit greatly from the rise of a new BRICS currency. China has been pushing for a new global currency for years, and if they were to succeed, they'd become the dominant player in the global economy. They'd be able to dictate terms to other countries, and they'd have all the power and influence that comes with being the global reserve currency. It would be a significant win for China, and it would put them in a much stronger position than they are now. So why is China not pursuing the yuan to be the new global currency? Good question, actually. Well, even though China is a huge economy, it still is a communist country with a centrally planned economy. This means that the Chinese government has significant control over the country's financial system, which can be a deterrent for international investors and markets. Additionally, China's lack of political freedom and free speech raises concerns among investors about the stability and security of the yuan as a global currency. So, a sort of joint venture is second best for them. They can gradually open up its financial system, while it still maintains strict controls on the movement of capital in and out of the country. Quite a story, isn't it? And if this will become reality, it seems like the US and their global counterparts have found themselves in a bit of a pickle, haven't they? But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Those pushing the buttons could always try to diversify their investments and reduce their reliance on the US dollar. Who knows? Maybe they'll even start working together towards a more stable, equitable future. It's a long shot, I know, but stranger things have happened. The world has overcome significant challenges in the past and has emerged stronger on the other side. So let's adapt and find new ways to thrive in this ever-changing financial landscape. And if they don't manage, let's hope that one day we'll look back and laugh about it. How we thought the US dollar would reign supreme forever. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the ever-fascinating world of BRICS developments. Who knew that 5 countries could stir up such a diplomatic tempest while juggling their economic acrobatics? These nations certainly keep us on our toes. Stay tuned for more insightful updates. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.